Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and welcome to another battle in Northern Kingdom's Total War. In today's battle, the mighty army of Temeria is returning home after a bloody battle with the Empire of Nilfgaard. Redania had come to their aid, soundly defeating the army of Nilfgaard in a pitched battle. Exhausted from the battle, the army of Temeria had relaxed their guard and moved at a relatively slow pace. That was until they spied the banners of the Ducal cavalry from Toussaint. The Duchy of Toussaint had rallied an army to aid Nilfgaard in the battle against Temeria, but they had arrived too late. Radovid and his men were long gone, but the relaxed pace of the Temerian army meant that it was not far from the battlefield. Cut off from escape, the men of Temeria must fight one more battle, and this time, they must do it alone. The first army on the battlefield today is the Kingdom of Temeria, commanded by Shark, and he has a lot, and I mean a lot, of these Temerian swordsmen. He actually has so many Temerian swordsmen that he's able to form two separate battle lines comprised completely of them. Now, I know that the mod, there isn't a lot of unit variation, so I can see why he's had to go with a lot of these swordsmen, because I think they're really the only solid swordsmen that Temeria currently has. But he has 7 units of these Temerian swordsmen in the front line, and then right behind that he has 4 units of Temerian archers. And then for the third line, he has 6 more units of the Temerian swordsmen, so that's 13 total. And then his last sword unit over here next to the general is the Lavet Foot Knights. And I love the shields on these guys. Very interesting shield where we've got both 2 different people shaking hands, and each one is holding a severed head. So if there's some backstory to this shield or the emblem, or even these guys in general, the Lavet Foot Knights, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. But right behind that we have the general himself, Venandroche. Or Roche, I don't know if the E is pronounced. And then he has 2 identical flanks over here. We've got 4 of the Temerian pikemen, 2 on either flank. And then we have 5 of the Wyzima City Guards. He has 2 on this flank, and then if we zip on over, he has 2 on this flank. And then he has a 5th one over here with his cavalry. And we've got 1 unit of Temerian Knights over here on this flank. And then way over here, we've got another 2 units. So 3 units of cavalry plus the general equaling 4. And that pretty much rounds out the army of Temeria, so let's go ahead and take a look at his enemy. The next army on the battlefield today is the Duchy of Toussaint, commanded by the Hunted, and in the front lines he has a few units of these Ducal swordsmen here, looking very, very cool indeed. He has 6 units in the front lines, and then he has 4 units of the Ducal pikemen, and then he has a third line with 3 additional Ducal swordsmen, so he has 9 of them total. And then I really love these guys here with their green uniforms and the boar on it. This is what I'm talking about. The Duntin Guards, or the Duntine Guards. I don't know how you pronounce it, but love the uniforms on these guys. They look really, really cool. So he has 3 units of them. And then we have the general here, Palmerin de la Falle, I hope is how you pronounce it, and he's here in purple as the general. And if we zoom on out, he has a couple of wings as well. He's got 4 units of the Ducal spearmen, 2 on either flank. Love the shape of those shields too, very, very cool indeed. And then he has 4 units of cavalry. He has 3 units of the Ducal sword cavalry, 2 on this flank and 1 on the other. And then he has a bit of a sub-commander as well. We have Milton de Perac-Peran, I hope is how you pronounce it. And look at this bad boy. Look at that shield. That's amazing. That's a really sick-looking shield. So yes, that's the 4th unit of cavalry, and then, of course, with his general, he has 5. And then he did bring some archers, although they're way over here hidden in the tree line. So we've got 4 units of the Ducal archers. So I'm guessing that he's going to engage the Kingdom of Temeria with his main line and then possibly flank around with these archers. It's kind of hard to say, but I guess we will find out. So let's go ahead and get to the battle. Alright. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and the battle does begin with the Temerian knights on the left-hand flank breaking cover and charging into the unsuspecting Ducal sword cavalry. And you can see that the two units of Ducal archers just managed to escape that cavalry charge by the skin of their teeth. Now, one of the units was charged pretty harshly in the flank, but there are two units of cavalry here versus the one unit of Temerian knights. So basically, with the 2v1 aspect, with 120 Ducal sword cavalry versus 60 Temerian knights, the Ducal sword cavalry should hold for quite some time, especially given the fact that the Temerian knights are melee cavalry, so their charge bonus stats are pretty lackluster. They leave a lot to be desired when it comes to charge bonus. However, the Hunted, I think, still doing the smart thing and disengaging his cavalry, although the persistent Temerian knights actually getting a huge charge on the backs of that Ducal sword cavalry unit, the second unit. So where this one was kind of engaged for quite some time, lost about 13 men in their unit, that single charge managed to kill about 15 of that second unit, so that is not very good start for the Duchy of Toussaint. However, on the other side, we do have the two units of Temerian knights over here. They were actually caught out by the faster Ducal sword cavalry. The Ducal sword cavalry is a lot lightly armored, or less armored, I should say. So they were actually able to run down the Temerian knights as they were retreating. It looks like we do have the general, though, setting up to charge the sub-commander in the flank. There we go. He has charged on in. Well done. Where is he? Where is the general there? I didn't see where... Oh, there he is. There he is. So he is right in the thick of it. I hope that Shark doesn't lose his general this early on in the battle. That would not be good for him, but it looks like actually he's countercharged the Toussaint general, Palmerin de Lafelle, and should be a pretty even matchup, 45 versus 44. However, the Hunted has three bronze chevrons on his general's unit, but both of them are tier 3, so hopefully they will be able to duke it out in a pretty even manner. Let's take a look at what's going on over here. We've got some Ducal spearmen fighting a single unit of the Temerian swordsmen. And I don't know if I mentioned this in my army comps, but apologies for the shimmering here on the units. I don't know exactly what is causing that. I tried to do a bit of graphical changes before I started the battle, but I think it's something to do with the actual unit models and this light. This type of battlefield. I did try to restart the battle a number of times to get a more favorable outcome, but they are just shimmering away. Very flashy boys on the battlefield today. But it looks like we have the battle line just beginning to form here. Let's actually put this on slow motion because this is going at a crazy quick rate. We've got the Duntine guards over here with some more of the Ducal swordsmen pushing on the flanks. And it looks like we have the Wyzima city guards fighting the Ducal swordsmen. However, the Hunted has filtered in a couple units of Ducal pikemen here to aid his swords. The Temerian swordsmen, they are very, very tanky, but they are not invincible. And these pikemen should be able to give the less quality Ducal sword units the edge when fighting against the heavily armored Temerian swords. Let's just kind of look over from this direction here. If I look at it from down this direction, it's not as bad, the light level. I mean, if we move over to this side where the Temerian are facing the light, you can see that it's a lot brighter. A lot of very bright shining and shimmering going on. So we'll try to look at it from this side so that you guys have a bit more enjoyment as we zoom on in. You guys can watch the fighting here. The desperate defense of the Temerian knights, or the Temerian swords, sorry. But there is a pretty intense skirmish phase going on as we speak, and unfortunately, it looks like Temeria is getting the worst end of that deal. I'm not sure if the quality of the Temerian archers is a lot more poor than the Ducal archers, but I also think the Hunted very wisely using 2 units of Ducal archers to focus single units of Temerian archers. So this unit has already broken and has returned from routing, but this one is on its way to routing, I would imagine. Their numbers are just dropping very, very quickly. If we zoom out and take a full stock of the battle, though, looks like we still have those Temerian Knights holding, but the Hunted very smartly putting in a unit of Ducal Spearmen here. So unfortunately, the Temerian Knights are their morale starting to drop. They're not really that psyched to fight some Spearmen, sending those pointy boys in like that. But the Temerian Knights, they are quite strong. You can see there's one of the Temerian Knights surrounded by these spearmen and still holding. And how are we doing over here for the Oh, the general is not doing very well. Vernon Rocher over here. He's down to 9 men, and that actually has freed up the Duchy of Toussaint's general here to actually get a pretty good flanking charge on some Temerian pikemen. If we just put this onto slow motion here. Where is he? Okay, so he's a ways back in the formation, so he's not in danger of being poked or prodded by a pike unit. But yeah, these pikemen look like they are effectively surrounded here, because we've got some of the Ducal Spearmen pushing forwards here. We've got some Ducal Swords. Yeah, they have really pushed hard on this this right flank here. We've got some Ducal Swords, Ducal Spearmen moving forwards. So they'll be pushing around the flank. The Temerian swordsman over here, the second line has been activated here to try and hold. Very, very interesting. Oh, these archers just getting absolutely annihilated. Really hard to see. Let's actually move into this unit here as it's moving up the flank. You can see the battle line there. The second line of Temerian swordsmen has been called to action. Archers, the relentless archer fire. Okay, are they moving in to support the pikemen? It looks like that's exactly what they are doing. So we do have one unit of Temerian pikemen here in a very long spread line, just trying to aid these poor Temerian swordsmen that are getting annihilated on the Ducal pikemen. We've also got some more of the Wyzima City Guard. If that's not how you pronounce it, though, please let me know. I'm not sure if it's like a German thing where you pronounce the W as a V, like Wyzima City Guard. Ooh, but we got a couple of volleys going on, hitting the general here. That's not good. That is not good at all. They are trying to kill the general with their archers. Down to 6 men at this point in the unit. Ooh, and he is wavering as well. That would probably signal a disaster for Temeria if their general were to be killed or at least break from the battlefield. However, we've got Temerian Knights engaged here against Palmerin de Lanfel. So we'll see how he fares in this battle. Over here, the sub-commander is not faring so well. In fact, can we maybe find him? I remember he had a pretty sweet-looking shield, so he should stand out, if I'm not mistaken. Where is he? Where are you? He could actually already be dead, if I'm honest. I only see 3 or 4 of that unit still alive, and none of them have the sweet lion shield. So the sub-commander probably has been taken out at this point. That is a little bit worrying over here as well, because this free unit of Temerian Knights will be able to countercharge the general who is otherwise engaged with the Temerian Knights. Let's quickly mouse over here and see what's going on the right-hand flank. Again, those Temerian Knights still holding strong here. Even well engaged against those spearmen, I think they managed to break one of the units of Ducal Sword Cavalry. So well done there. Over here, we do have some of the pole arms fighting the Ducal Spearmen, but we do have a unit of Ducal Swordsmen flanking around, so I can't imagine that they're going to be able to hold there for long. Come on, boys, hold. They did kind of end up a little far from their lines. However, it looks like we do have some Temerian swordsmen coming in for a counter charge here. So this could be good. Let's watch this as the unit comes charging on in. Ooh, good hits into the Ducal swordsman there. Yeah, starting to chew them up. Well done. Although I think that the Weisma City Guard, yep, they have just broken. So, unfortunately, the Temerian swordsmen are now 2v1 once again with the Ducal spears and the Ducal swords going up against them 2v1. Again, the Temerian swordsmen kind of out here all on their own. We do have a unit of Temerian archers which could support if they do get surrounded, but we'll have to see. Now we do have one unit of Ducal sword cavalry has been freed up. But this right flank is looking a lot more stable than this left flank. Now, did we get a countercharge on there? It doesn't look like we did. Aha, but the cavalry is making a lot of gains over here on this flank. Huge charge into the Ducal swords there. I think he's just ping-ponging back and forth between the two. And this poor unit completely surrounded here. Well, let's try and get it from a different angle so it's a little less shimmery. I do apologize for that, guys. I have looked at some other mods as well, just to see if it's something, one of my settings, and it's not the case. So it might be something to do with this battle in particular, as I said, with the lighting, because my last battle in Northern Kingdoms, which had much darker lighting, we didn't have this nearly as bad. I love these guys, the green with the boar on it, on their uniforms. Very, very cool. But yeah, it looks like they have outflanked the Temerian swordsmen there, so it's just a flank on flank on flank on flank over here. And these, yeah, okay, so the pikemen on both sides are managing to keep the front line pretty much intact, which is good to see. Let's go ahead and put this back onto play here with 10 minutes remaining. I do see some wavering, though, from those Temerian swordsmen. They have been engaged for quite some time. Oh, hold, men, hold. The Temerian line is starting to look quite thin. And what is this unit coming in? Okay, that's the La Valette Foot Knights moving in. Okay. So, are they going to try and punch a hole through here? Or are they trying to sneak through this gap? I'm not 100% sure. Looks like they were... Oh, yeah, so Shark is trying to get them through, basically, here. And maybe hit the backs of the Ducal swordsmen here, but I don't think it's even needed. Looks like the Ducal swordsmen are breaking, or at least wavering at this point. He should be able to move over and hit the Ducal pikemen and Ducal swordsmen, should this unit break. But I think, as I said, the right flank, he looks like he's got it pretty well under control at this point. The Temerian swordsmen, just such a solid unit. They're going to be holding for quite some time, even in the 2v1 aspect there. Although we do have another Temerian swordsman unit coming on in to support. This is looking pretty dicey over here, though, for the general. Palmarin de l'Enfel. Yes, okay, we do have some Ducal swordsmen moving on in to support. I believe we did have some Temerian swordsmen, actually, that were pushed in here to attack the general's bodyguard. And that was that the general? Oh, the enemy general died just as we came in. So all of these reinforcements here, too little, too late. So I think that's both of the generals have been destroyed. Or killed, I should say. They weren't, like, blown up or anything. I shouldn't say destroyed, but... Yeah, 1,480 of the Temerians on the battlefield, 1,678 of the Toussaint troops on the battlefield. So the Duchy of Toussaint still has the manpower. That's it. Hold, boys, hold. Those archers still too. Thankfully, they've almost used up their ammunition. They are firing on some Temerian swordsmen that have shattered as well. The Hunted probably not realizing that at this point. Let's go ahead and put it on slow motion once again and see what the Ducal Sword Cavalry is doing. Okay, so the La Valette Foot Knights are here, flanked around the Ducal Swordsmen, but the Ducal Sword Cavalry have charged into, it looks like, the Temerian pikemen. Now we have some more Temerian pikemen coming in as well, so the jaws are just closing on these guys here. I feel really bad for them. Oh no. Yeah, there's no escaping from this, my friends. No escaping. That is brutal. And what else do we have going on over here? Okay, so looks like some spears are wavering over here. Temerian swordsmen were battling it out with the spears. Let's go back onto play. 8 minutes left in this battle, and those archers focusing down an exposed unit of Temerian swordsmen. And it looks like the cavalry was able to break the pikemen after all. Over here, though, again, the Temerian knights being locked down in this prolonged melee engagement. I would have loved to see them kind of break free and maybe leave the Temerian swordsmen to hold off these two units and possibly get some more rear charges, maybe go after the archers, because these two units of archers still have quite a bit more ammunition remaining. But the front line for the Duchy of Toussaint is looking quite soft at the moment. Then again, so is the line for Temeria. Now that I look at it, only 2 units really on this battlefield in this main line. And the pikemen are soon to go, it looks. Now, it looks like we do have a couple of units of Temerian archers still remaining. We've got some depleted units of Ducal swords over here trying to run down the archers, but they're being peppered from both sides. So yeah, as soon as they try to go after these archers, which they may actually get a charge off. Yes, well done. Well done. But then they are shot in the back by the archers that are formed up behind them. Ooh, they should be able to carve up these archers, though. Can't imagine they'd be too good in melee. More Temerian pikemen with the La Valette. I always forget how to say that. La Valette Foot Knights, yes. They should be doing quite well. I would imagine that they're probably a lot better than the basic Ducal swordsman. And 6 minutes to go. Bounce power is, I'd say, in favor of the Duchy of Toussaint. Yeah, 800 men for the Kingdom of, gosh, what are these guys? Temeria had a little mental block there. And then 1,100 for the Duchy of Toussaint. And yeah, things are starting to look a bit dicey here for Shark. A couple of his units that have broken and returned from routing are immediately being run down. Over here, the Temerian swordsmen not looking too hot over here. We do have this fresh unit of pikemen, though, and the La Valette Foot Knights. So hopefully they'll be able to maybe turn the tide. Over here, things are looking pretty good. We've got a unit of Duntine Guards surrounded by 2 units of the Temerian Knights. It's kind of cool how they're surrounded by this tree, too, almost back to back. Very nice. They will fight to the last man. Back to play, and okay, so 2 of the archers have used up their ammunition, which is fantastic. And we have 2 units of Ducal archers with, I'd say, half ammunition remaining. Now, these 2 archers are going to be crucial here. They really have a lot of work to do if they're going to be able to stop all of these units from breaking basically his last 3 units of swordsmen that are fighting over there in the rear guard. We've actually got 13 Temerian swordsmen over here actually challenging the Ducal archers. And we've got the La Valette Foot Knights here. Getting a good solid charge on the backs here. That Ducal swordsman probably, yep, it has broken. And this unit of Ducal swordsmen fighting the pikemen with those archers, that's not a good combo. He should definitely focus these pikemen with his pikemen. Yes, well done, Hunted. Pushing onto the flanks there. And these 2 units of archers here, what are they going to do? Again, just going to try and focus them down as best as they can. 2 units of the Duntine Guards. Very depleted, but still probably would wreck these archers if they were able to engage them in melee. Come on, boys. Fire. Oh, the poor pikemen just out of formation there. They don't know which way to turn. And, yeah, we've got some Ducal Swordsmen moving in. Oh, that's actually a good idea. Could possibly break his own units, though, so he's going to have to be careful with that. But one of the units has broken. No way! The pikemen broke as well. Ducal pikemen, 92 men have broken. And the unit of Duntine Guards is broken in that one volley as well. Archers just pouring on in, trying to just surround this unit of Temerian pikemen and get them to break. They're actually facing the wrong way at this point. He needs to turn that unit around, forget the archers, and maybe focus on the Duntine Guard. But yeah, now these archers are engaged in melee against the La Valette Foot Knights. The spears over there have been broken, so this unit of Temerian swordsmen is free to enter the fray. And now the balance of power is with Shark at this point. Still the Duntine Guards holding out behind this tree line here. This unit of Ducal swordsmen trying to catch those annoying, pesky archers. And it looks like they're running after this one guy here, so he's like distracting the entire unit of swordsmen while they continue to volley down with fire ammunition or fire arrows onto the Duntine Guards. Really good hits there as well if we just go down to slow motion here. See the flaming and the fire. Oh, come on, pikemen. You can do this. I believe in you. You can hold. Completely surrounded. That pike unit's got to break soon. And what do we got going on over here? So the Temerian swordsmen actually were successful over here. Either that or the two units of Ducal swordsmen were disengaged from that battle to come down over here. Which, this is where it all comes down to pretty much, guys. Okay, two units of Temerian swordsmen have been freed up over here. The archers are still running amok, trying to escape the jaws of the Ducal swordsmen there. And these pikemen, man, MVPs of this battle. They should have broken 10 times over with them being attacked in the flanks like this. But they're just repositioning as best as they can, trying to get out from the hammer and anvil between the Duntine Guards and the Ducal swordsmen. Come on, boys. Come on. Hold. Oh, yeah, one of the pikemen there losing his head to the Ducal sword. Wow. I don't want to focus too much on one little area of the battle, though, because this still could be a victory for Toussaint. I mean, it was a couple of minutes ago until that massive pike unit broke. Okay, there goes the archers. Yeah, so now the Temerian... Yeah, okay, so I think that just barely the Temerians are going to take this victory. But at what cost? How many men do they have remaining? 413 out of the 3,465 that they entered the battlefield with. And that number is still decreasing quite rapidly. More Temerian swordsmen over here fighting it out. Well done, boys. Well done. And there we go. Is that the break there? Yes, it looks like that is the break. Wow, and what is the final man count? Under 400 men remaining. A Pyrrhic victory. Definitely a Pyrrhic victory. Well done, Shark and the Hunted. Let's go ahead and take a look at the end results. Alright guys, here is the end results, and looking at Shark's army first as the Kingdom of Temeria, it's a pretty mixed bag on those Temerian swordsmen. However, a couple of them getting upwards of 200 kills, which is very solid. The La Valette Foot Knights there, 243 kills, and they were committed quite late in the battle. I believe that this unit is capped to 1, so they're probably very powerful. The Wyzima City Guards didn't really do too well, but the pikemen did solidly, I would say, especially the one, I don't know which one it was that was holding towards the end, but definitely clinched the victory for the Kingdom of Temeria, because if that pike unit had broken, then the archers wouldn't have been able to get those choice volleys with fire arrows to break the morale of the Duchy of Toussaint. And the Temeria Knights, lower kills than I would have expected, but they did hold a lot of the Ducal Cavalry for quite some time. Looking at the Commander-Sub-Commander, not too many kills for them, although it looks like the general for Temeria and the sub-commander got the same amount of kills. Good kills, surprisingly, on some of these Ducal swordsmen. 208, 122, 172, 266. So for a tier 2 unit, they actually went toe-to-toe with those Temerian swordsmen kill for kill. Looking at the Duntine guards, 294, 177, that's quite good. Spearmen didn't do very well. Pikemen did okay, though. I would say relatively even matchup of the pikemen. But the archers doing really well, a lot better than the Temerian archers. We have 121 and 178 for 2 of those units. And then 2 of the Ducal Sword Cavalry not getting as many kills, but 110 from a tier 2 melee cavalry unit. That is quite solid. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. I apologize for all the shimmering and lighting. I will reach out to the modder to see if there is something that can be done about that, maybe a setting or something, or maybe we just need to, when I do play this mod, we have to kind of keep in the back of our minds not to pick the super sunny maps, because a lot of the glinting can get a bit distracting, so again, I do apologize. But thanks a lot again, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one.